Hey, this is your man Anthony Smooth Groove Joyner here in Nashville, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for bassplayersonly.com. Coming to you today on location, Nashville, Tennessee, from the 2017 Summer NAMM Show with our friend Anthony Joyner, Anthony Smooth Groove Joyner. What's happening, Smooth Groove?
Man, trying to keep it together here in the summer heat at this NAMM Show and trying to not buy anything.
Well, good luck on both fronts. I got to tell you, when we've been hanging for the last couple of days, getting to know each other a little bit. Late nights. And I almost don't even know what to ask you because you've done it all. You've played with everyone. You use every kind of gear, and I don't really know where to begin. So why don't we start from you? You're born in New York, and you were exposed to music, and tell me that story. How did you become a bass player, and what was your first exposure to this crazy music world?
My mother was a drummer, and when she
can't beat that.
Can't beat that. Yeah, my mom was a drummer, and my brother is a jazz singer. So growing up as a kid, I always looked up to my brother. I wanted to be like my brother. So he played a little guitar, and I played a little guitar, real little. And then I went to bass at 5 years old, and I would play with my brother. And I'd play TV show songs. I'd learn those, everything by ear and everything.
I've got to jump in already. Most people say, yeah, I switched to bass, I played the guitar, but nobody has said that they made that switch at 5 years old. That's awfully early to not just to play guitar or play bass, but to have played the guitar and then switch to bass at the ripe old age of 5.
Everyone in my family started early. My mom started on drums real early. My brother started on acoustic guitar real early. And like I said, I wanted to be like my brother, so we already had a guitar in the house, and she played drums, so I went to bass. And the good thing about that is I got work because nobody wanted to play bass.
At 5 you got work?
Probably around 8, 10, 11. But everybody wanted to play guitar, I'm going to get the girls playing guitar. So I would play bass, but I would do the things on bass that they do on guitar, like the tapping and the soloing and the chords and stuff. I figured, hey, I can do it too. And that's how that got started. But my brother really turned me on to a lot of different music. He played Jim Croce and Streisand and that kind of stuff. My mom listened to jazz, and then on weekends they played Motown on the radio, so I played everything. And then when we moved to Nashville, this is bad to say, but we moved in a white neighborhood. So then I got exposed to all the rock and roll and the country and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's why I play everything, because I like everything. In school, I played band. They didn't have guitar or bass, so I played bass, trombone, and tuba. So then I got into classical music and all of that stuff. So yeah, I pretty much like it all, kind of like what Jocko said. If it's good, I dig it,
Well, you've played from everyone, from Brian White, Shania Twain, Faith Hill, and on and on. Let's talk about some highlights from your career. We don't have enough time to cover to scratch the surface, but are there a couple of highlights that are particularly memorable or that you're particularly proud of?
I played Carnegie Hall, and you know the story. How do you get to play Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice.
Who'd you play with?
I played that with Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. What else did I do? I played the Spectrum in Philly. That was cool with Faith and Tim. Done a lot. I can't really hard to remember stuff. Just getting to know bass players, like I just hugged Chuck Carini. Getting to know bass players that were my heroes growing up, Chuck Rainey and
who else? You mentioned
Vega.
Bobby Vega's one of your heroes?
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, if you're watching, hey, you're a knucklehead, but I love you.
Stanley, my favorite on earth, Marcus Miller. Love Marcus, Bill Dickens and just everybody.
You and I saw Bill play last night.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he played all the notes.
Yeah, if he got paid by the note, he'd be a zillionaire.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But such a great guy, you know. And Jeff Berlin, I mean, I could go on forever naming guys that I love, and it's so cool to be able to call them friends. Doug Wimich, I just hugged Doug Wimich like he was my ex-girlfriend. I mean, you know, just the guys are great to know. And
They are. I've had the privilege of interviewing, I think, every one of those guys. In fact, in about an hour and a half, I'm going to Jeff Berlin's house to interview him here. He lives in Nashville now.
Great. Yes, he does. I can't believe he moved here. But, yeah, it's just been a blessing to know these guys and call them friends and perform with them and play around. And every gig I've done, you know, every artist I work with, I feel blessed to have been able to do that, you know.
Well, how about today? What's keeping you busy these days, Anthony?
I play with a lot of people in town these days, doing a lot of sessions. A guy just called me 45 minutes ago to do a show tomorrow night, and I know nothing about it. But that's cool. I like that.
You know, we always say in the music business, everything will be fine on Monday morning.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just like to have fun. I play with a lot of different people. I'm considering making a move next year, and yeah.
You're going to leave it at that, or are you going to...
Yeah, it is.
New York, L.A., Chicago?
I'm sorry. I'm moving to Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm going to probably move out there and try to break into something other than country pop, you know, and just see what happens. I got to do it. I don't want to, you know, be 70 and go, man, I shoulda, coulda, you know. And I'm seasonal depressed. I hate winter, so LA.
Seasonal depressed.
Yeah, I think Los Angeles.
I think my wife has that disease.
Well, you know, New York is cold, man, and it's cold here in Nashville, and they can't drive. So I think if I'm going to be somewhere where they can't drive, I might as well be in Los Angeles where it's 78 degrees, and I'm stuck on the interstate, and, you know.
That's
warm.
not always so much fun either, but everything's got a trade-off.
Yeah.
Well, here's a very loaded question, and if you can kind of condense it,
Okay.
I want to ask about your equipment. And I've talked to guys who say, I have like 200 basses. I say, yeah, but I bet there's 2 or 3 or 4 maybe that you play all the time. Tell me about your gear.
First of all, I'm with Aguilar Amplification, Aguilar for life. I'll never plug anything else up. If they don't have Aguilar and I can't bring mine, I go direct.
Interesting choice of words.
Yes. DR strings. I play DR strings exclusively. Low-end basses.
Oh, yeah.
Sadowski. You know, Fender. Everybody has to play Fender.
Any effects?
Marco basses. I'll use some Jim Dunlop effects, or, you know, as they're calling the MXR bass innovations. I use those. Shout out to Daryl. And I use their pedals, DR strings, Levy straps, and
Harvey and Dennis and Danica.
yes,
Good people.
very good people.
In Winnipeg, I think, right?
Yes, yes.
Good thing they don't have that seasonal winter disease, because
Good thing I don't have to go there to get them. Yeah.
but there's a somewhat rich musical heritage there. Was it Randy Bachman or the BTO guys came from Winnipeg?
And I have to give you a shout out. I use your books when I teach. I use the funk book. I use the Jocko books to show people how to play some of that stuff. What's the other one? One of my funk books is so old.
Funk bass is the slapping book. Funk
Yes.
fusion is the fingerstyle funk.
That's the one,
Rock
yeah.
bass, blues bass, bass group, bass.
Rock or blues bass one, but I probably should get those. But I
probably
teach
should.
the other ones, and I've got one of the old original ones, and I'm gonna get you to sign it for me before the cover completely falls off. But those are great books, and everybody, if you want to get into doing this, you should definitely try that. And the cool thing, there's licks in there you can use right now, which is really good, you know, teach some of my students. And it gives them ideas, and you can take it and you can kind of modify it. So that's a good thing. So shout out to you on that. I really
Thank you very much. I don't know if you've seen my bass aerobics book, but that has surpassed some of the other books as my mega bestseller. We talked about Jeff Berlin. He wrote the foreword to it. He liked it some. You know what? I didn't intend to make this about me, but he started it. So I'm writing a new book now for beginners.
Oh, nice.
So that should be out sometime in 2018. But let's get back to you.
Okay.
But thanks for
All
the
about me.
thanks. But enough about you. Enough about me. Tell me a little bit more about the future. If you move to LA, if you don't move to LA, is there something in particular you have in mind that you'd like to do that you haven't accomplished yet?
Yeah, I would like to do, believe it or not, the gig I would really love to have is White Snake. I would really love to do that gig.
Well, don't they change bass players like every other week? So
Well, the guy just married the girl from The Sopranos, and they have kids, so I'm sure he's going to hang around for a minute and make that bread. But I would like to do that. I wouldn't really be a white snake. I'd be kind of more of a black snake, but, you know. Oops. But, yeah, I'd like to get into a little more rock stuff, a little more rock pop stuff, you know, that kind of thing. And, just I think the weather is going to be a good change for me. Yeah, I'm hating that winter is coming here in Nashville. It's so bad.
well, how cold does it get here? What's cold to you?
It gets cold here. It gets below freezing, and things close down in this town. So if it closes down, you're done. You're at home.
Yeah, well, I'm from Detroit, and we're tough. We can take it. Let me ask you one more question, Anthony. What would you be if you were not a bass player? If something outside of music?
I would be a fashion designer.
Okay.
I'm really into fashion. I love watches, and
Yeah, that is a cool watch.
I'd really be into fashion, or I'd be into cars. I love cars.
Okay. You know, I ask everybody that question. John B. Williams, he said he would be a salesman in a clothing store.
Wow.
And I also interviewed Blasco, who played with Ozzy, and he used to be a salesman in a clothing store.
I
But
can't see
he,
Glasgow doing that. I cannot see that.
Well,
It's funny.
I don't think you will anymore.
I worked in a music store for 28 years. I ran a bass department for 28 years. So I get that, but I can't see Blasco in a clothing store. And if he's in one selling clothes, I'm leaving.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we will leave it there. But it is great, Mr. Smooth Groove, Mr. Anthony Joyner. Thanks so much for all that you do and all the great music that you've given us. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll keep enjoying it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
On location with our good friend Anthony Smooth Groove Joyner at the 2017 Summer NAMM Show, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm John Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.